Hello and welcome to this simplified guide to attributes and neural remaps in the online game EVE Online. I am Dutch Gunner and I'm making this video because I've noticed that both young and longer playing players in this game don't really know what attributes are for and how to best utilize the neural remap. Therefore, here is a simplified guide. For this video, I'm going to make use of an alt in order to also give a visual representation of what I'm talking about. Now, if you open up your character sheet, you'll see under character a tab called attributes. There you'll see that there are 5 attributes, namely perception, memory, willpower, intelligence, and charisma. These attributes don't affect the skills themselves, but they do affect the time it takes to train your skills up, ranging from level 1 up to level 5. Now, to keep it simple, besides the attributes, an easy way to see how long it's going to take to skill up a specific skill is to look at the skill time multiplier. And we're just going to take an example by going to the skills, the skill catalog, and for example, I'm just going to have a look at advanced weapon upgrades. In the show info, you'll see that there's a training time multiplier of 6. So that is a reasonable indication to see what it does. At the same time, you can see that it has a primary and a secondary attribute. To avoid going through all the skills, all you have to do is look at the different skill trees, because each skill tree shows what the primary and secondary attribute is for all the skills that are in that skill tree. What it basically comes down to is if you have points on the primary and secondary attribute, the higher the points, the quicker it is to train those skills. And that's where the remap comes into play, because that allows you to reassign your attribute points to minimize some and maximize others. Now, before I move on and show you how to do neural remap, here's a quick overview that shows you the different skill trees in alphabetical order and what the primary and secondary attributes are. Now, if you want to go with minimum effort and still optimize your skill training time, there are 2 builds I recommend. Unless you're going for gunnery skills, missiles, or spaceship command, I recommend that you go for an intelligence and memory build, because intelligence and memory are the 2 attributes that show up as either both the primary and the secondary attribute, or if either the primary or the secondary in a lot of the skills. As mentioned before, if you do focus specifically on gunnery, missile, and spaceship command, I recommend to go with a perception and willpower build. And now it's finally time to show you how to do a neural remap. You'll have to go back to your character sheet, the attributes tab, and then you'll have the option to click on the remap now. One thing to keep in mind: when you go for a neural remap, you can't do it again for an entire year. So keep this in mind when you go for a neural remap, to make sure that your skill queue resembles it for the duration of the year. If you have any bonus remaps, you can do it more times within that single year, because it's a bonus remap, so it circumvents the 1-year cooldown period before you can do it again. But keep in mind, once those bonus remaps are gone, that's it. You're stuck with the 1-year grace period, or cooldown if you will. Now, if you're going to go for a remap, you click on the remap now. You'll get this new pop-up with the different attributes, the base points, if you have any implants. Now, if you have any implants, they just increase the total. They're not additional points you can redistribute. Now, all you can do is you can first minimize the assigned point in each category, and then you can optimize by saying, okay, I want to put 7 points in perception and 7 points in willpower if you're going for gunnery, missiles, or spaceship command. Or if you got any other skill trees you're focusing on, I recommend to just put 7 points into memory and an additional 7 points in intelligence. Then at the end, all you have to do is click Save Changes, and congratulations, your remap is done and you've optimized your skill training time with minimum effort as long as you make sure that your skill queue is aligned with the optimized build of either memory intelligence or perception and willpower. And with that, it's the end of this simplified guide. I hope you'll use it to your max benefit. Enjoy the game, fly safe, and 07.